Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this episode, I wanted to just show you guys how I tie a drop shot rig, because I've been getting a lot of questions about how to fish a drop shot rig and how I tie it and all those different things. And you know, a drop shot rig is just one of the best ways to catch bass when the bite is tough. It's not necessarily one of my favorite techniques in most situations. I'm a power fisherman, but it is a super useful technique when you know, just getting a bite is difficult. You know, when the Tennessee River lakes, they're not pulling current, that's one of my favorite situations to pick up a drop shot, because it just starts getting me some bites. And also fishing up north, you know, fishing for smallmouth, that's not even finesse fishing to me. That's like real exciting power fishing up there, fishing a drop shot for those smallies. But anyways, I want to show you guys how to rig your drop shot rig. Essentially what we got here is we've got our line. This is I usually use a leader material attached to a braided main line. So I use like 15-pound test braided line, smackdown from Seagar is my choice. And then I'll tie a gold label fluorocarbon leader to that main line. And this right here is 10-pound test, a gold label. And essentially what we're gonna do here is whatever type of drop shot hook that you're using, you want to come in through the top of your hook, okay, with the line. And we're gonna be using a knot called a polymer knot. A polymer knot is essential for fishing a drop shot rig. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to take my hook here. This is the Hayabusa DSR 132, and I'm gonna bring the line through the top of the line tie, okay, instead of coming through the bottom. Then I'm gonna pull an ample amount of you know, tag in there. Usually you want to go more than you think you need, because every single time it just never fills. I pull out, you know, what I think is what I need to get, you know, say an 18-inch leader or something like that, and then I tie everything up and it's like really short. So pull more than you think you need, and then you're going to be bringing that tag end back through the bottom of the hook that you're using, okay? I of course picked the smallest hook I've got, so that was not as easy to bring it 10-pound test back through. But then you're going to go ahead, and I like to hold the loop that was formed with my right hand, and then the tag end and the main line with my left hand. And then I'm going to create a overhand knot, a little loop there, and bring that loop that we created through that you know, that overhand knot there. And then now you've got that little overhand knot started, and then you've got this loop here, and you're just going to bring the hook through that loop, okay? And that creates the polymer knot. There's a lot of great videos out there that are real easy to see how to tie a polymer. It's a pretty easy knot to tie. The one thing that I want to add to this is you want to wet that knot so it doesn't create a lot of friction, okay? So the polymer knot allows you to have this nice long tag end, okay? So the hook is suspended up there, but as you can see, man, that's not pointed upwards like it should be. That's actually, you know, pointing down, so that's not good. So the biggest key to rigging your drop shot with the polymer is to then take your tag end again after you tie the knot and pass it through the top of the eye again. Again, you know, the hook point side of that eye, we're gonna push this thing through, if I can. One more time, there we go. All right, so that way it is always sticking up. The hook point is always sticking up. That is a super critical part of rigging your drop shot with a polymer knot, is to, after you tie the knot, pass that tag end back through the top of the eye, and that way it's going to keep that hook point pointed up in that fashion that you want. All right, the last part of this is putting on your drop shot weight. Now this is where I differ from a lot of people, because over the years, by far, 99% of the weights that you're going to see on the market that are designed for drop shots are going to have this clip style of tie. So essentially, instead of tying your weight onto the line, you're going to be using this clip that pinches the line and it holds it that way. And that way, if you snag your weight, you don't have to lose your whole rig. You just essentially, you know, just pull real hard, and the line at the clip is theoretically going to break first. But I tend to lose a lot of weights with these style clips when I don't want to lose these weights. So what I use is, let me get my stuff together here. What I like to use is just a traditional eye style of you know, weight design. Now this is actually designed for a free rig, because it wants to freely slide up and down the line. So that's not necessarily designed for a drop shot, but it is essentially a drop shot weight, but it has this little traditional eye that you tie your line to. So what I'll do here is I go ahead and just tie whatever knot you want. You know, if it just holds the weight on, that's all you need. So I'll do like I think my favorite is probably just a regular, you know, San Diego jam knot, but I do only 2 like wraps or something like that. You could probably do a couple overhand knots and it will hold it just fine. But we're gonna do this, tie it on there, just kind of a, you know, just whatever knot you need on there. Take off the tag end just to clean it up. Now you've got a weight that is never going to come off when you don't want it to come off, but to make sure that you have a little weak spot in the line, so if you do snag your weight and you don't want to lose the rest of your rig, you've got a little you know, weak link in the chain there. I'm just going to go ahead, mar it up, pinch that line above that weight with my teeth, or not recommended, or like scissors, just kind of lightly, you know, lightly nick that line, and that way you have a weak spot, a little compromised spot in that leader, to where that will break when the rest of the line won't, like that. Took a little bit more pressure, but it's still way more weak, you know, than, you know, the rest of the line. This is 12-pound test, or this is 10-pound test gold label. So, but anyways, that is how I rig my drop shot rig. From here, you know, if you're using a nose hook design, you know, you take your worm, whatever style worm you're using. Let's see, let's actually use a little swim bait. That can be a really good drop shot bait. This is the Thin Swims from Z-Man. From here, what I'm gonna do is, if I'm using a nose weight, I'm just gonna go ahead, and the traditional way is just to bring the hook point through the chin and up through the top of the nose. But an even better way to do it, that holds the bait in a better horizontal fashion, is to come through the nose and then, or come through the chin, and then bring it to where the hook point is right at the nose. That holds the bait a little bit more horizontal, and also kind of protects the hook point a little bit more from snagging. So that's how I like to rig my drop shots. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to walk you through that. Hopefully you could see it fairly well on this video. The 2 big keys are, for me, number 1, making sure that after you tie that polymer knot, bring that tag end back through the top of the eye of the hook, and then with your drop shot weight, if you like to use the style that I use with the traditional eye that you tie to instead of the clip, make sure that you put a little weak spot in that line so you don't lose your entire rig when you snag that weight on the bottom. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions at all, make sure you drop a comment below. Other than that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna see you out on the water. Make sure you trust the process.